And it's crazy that we live in a world now where there are people being convinced by conspiracy theorists while listening to them on satellite radio that the Earth is flat. An almost unfathomable level of irony. They call it a flat Earth debate to make it sound more intellectual. All right, there's two sides to the flat Earth debate. And if you're a flat earther right now, you're thinking, exactly. There's only two sides, you smug son of a bitch. There's the round side and the flat side. This is how insane this argument is. On the round side of this debate is every scientist alive. Not most, all of them. A lot of people still very worried about the devil. That bothers me. We're on the cusp of colonizing Mars. We're about to have 3D printers kick out usable biological organs. And we'd have even more cool medical and tech if more people focused on that and worried less about what's the devil up to, though? Where's the devil right now? There's no way that the devil is out there giving you whatever you want if you just give the devil your soul. Because if that was true, there would be a lot less homeless people. Like, you mean to tell me that some dude sleeping in a piss-filled alley, eating out of a dumpster, literally sucking dick for meth, isn't quite ready to make that deal? But you think in some magical scenario where, the devil's just gonna fix all his problems, he's gonna turn it down, where the devil's just, give me your soul, I'll make it all go away. Fame and fortune are yours, just give me that sweet, sweet soul. Hey, get out of here, devil! How dare you! Sure, I'm going through a rough patch. I'll finish you in a second. You hold your horses. Hey. My teeth may be dirty, but my soul is clean. The weirdest one to me, I've been talking about it a few years, is the lizard Illuminati. But it is crazy when you really think about it. There are adults out there stressed out because they're worried about reptilians from space who live in tunnels beneath us to control our thoughts from the moon matrix. Like, there's somebody in a cubicle right now going, goddamn lizards! I'm sick of it! When I first found out about it, I thought it was a joke. And when I watched the videos, I was laughing, and then I read the comments underneath, and I thought it would just be comment after comment of stuff like, get the fuck out of here, that's crazy. No, comment after comment of like, thank you for being brave enough to speak the truth. Hashtag woke as fuck. I'll never forget this one guy I met early on doing stand-up. It was an open mic, it was an amateur night, and anybody who showed up, put their name on a list, got to do 10 minutes. And this one guy, he showed up with his mom, only his mom, so red flag riding shotgun already. And he does his 10 minutes to silence from the audience. He just eats it for 10 minutes. No one in the audience laughs at a single one of his jokes other than his mother, who cackles like a hyena the entire time. And he comes off stage, and I overheard him say, I don't know what that crowd's problem was. Those jokes were awesome. My mom thought I did great. And I decided to do him a hard favor right then and there. I stabbed his mom right in her fucking neck. I feel like there's so much stress in society right now. Somebody tweets or posts something, and then 10 years later, they lose their job. I feel like white people are the most tense right now. I don't have any proof, maybe because I'm white, I sense that. But I've only seen white people do this, though. Be so, nervous about being perceived as racist that they refuse to use race or color as descriptive terms when trying to describe someone, even when it is the most painfully fucking obvious way to do so. For some people, there could be a room of 300 albinos and also one black man. And they're trying to point him out to you, but they refuse to say the word black, and it is painfully uncomfortable. Right? It's just such a weird little game. Just, where's your friend? He has a hat on. Dude, save us the time. Just say the word black, okay, in that situation. Not okay if he's right next to you. That's weird if you're like, this is my black friend John. Fucking easy. Tone it down, Ku Klux Klan. What about the guy who never has time to get a job, but always has time to get 5, 6 different women pregnant, not help raise the kids? Congratulations, you're gonna be a contestant on America's favorite new game show. It's called Beauty or Blender. Here's how it works. You're gonna be forced to stick your dick in a hole in a wall. On the other side of that wall is either a beautiful woman who may or may not be turned on, or a blender that is for sure turned on. Here's a little show secret. There is no woman. It's all blenders all the time. You know, blow off a little steam. It's frustrating what people post, what gets liked and shared. It's kind of scary. You know, you shouldn't vaccinate your kids, because that's how kids get autism, so no one should vaccinate their kids. I wonder what the anti-vaxxers are gonna post then, you know? Just, have you seen my non-autistic kid? He's the little guy in the corner with the leg braces and the measles scars all over his face. Sure glad I stopped listening to doctors. If any part of that joke upset you, I want you to read more after the show. I was thinking, like, what was the creepiest thing I did when I was going through puberty? And it's pretty insane. For those of you who haven't heard about this story, it's gonna feel like I'm making this up. It's very over the top. I don't know why I would make this up. It does not make me look good. It did happen. When I was 16 years old, I got paid to fuck a banana peel. Now, when I phrase it that way, I do make it sound creepier than it actually was. It's not like there was an old man hiding out behind the high school gymnasium, standing between a stack of produce and a stack of 20s going, I wanna see a show, boy. They call me Chiquita Charlie. These nanos ain't gonna fuck themselves. No, it wasn't quite that bad, but it was close. Did happen, and technically I did get paid because I was on the clock when it went down. I was working at a grocery store, and I was working with a woman named Rhonda, this lady named Rhonda, and it was, I had a crush on Rhonda, which is uncomfortable for a variety of reasons. The morning it happened, Rhonda and I were working the produce. I was supposed to be stocking it, and I guess I was, if you really gotta think about it. Dad joke coming in hot. No, but I had a crush on Rhonda, and which is uncomfortable because she was a coworker. She was also my mom's age, and also one of my mom's good friends. She also had the largest, nicest breast I'd ever spent a lot of time in close proximity to at that point in my life. I was mostly in love with Rhonda's D-cup fantastical breasts. And she'd wear cleavage-revealing shirts behind her produce smock, and sometimes when she was working the fruit, she'd be kind of dangling those D-cups out there, and I would end up zoning out on those hot tatas. And then she would catch me, and I'd get embarrassed because it's uncomfortable, you know, it's inappropriate, like, oh God, and I just kind of look somewhere else. And then the morning this happened, we're working the fruit, working the bananas specifically. And it was a lot of back and forth. If I'd zone out, oh God, oh God, bananas. So it's like boobs, nanas, boobs, nanas. And I got super horny. And I got one of those erections you can only get when you're going through puberty. It requires a superhuman level of hormones. Literally a throbbing erection where you can see the pulse in the vein of the dick. Any doctor worth half a shit could have taken my heart rate visually. Which is not how you're supposed to do it, by the way. That's how your doctor's doing it. You need to shop around. That's a class action suit waiting to happen. And I had one of the weirdest thoughts I've ever had in my life. I was looking at one of these bananas, and it just kind of occurred to me that the banana is one of the penises of the fruit world. Roughly the same size and shape. And then I thought, well, if the fruit is the penis, that would make the peel, by default, the vagina, giving the fruit a tight, warm place of refuge. You have to admit there's some logic! And I just... People, you know, they didn't worry about words as much in the past because they had bigger problems, to be totally honest, you know? They were worried about keeping their 15 dirty kids fed and not dying before 40. They didn't focus too much on words. You know, it just feels like they were so much tougher. It feels like we've become so fragile as a species. It feels like everyone's anxious or depressed. And I know some of that's real. I know clinical depression is real. Crippling anxiety is real. But you know what else is real? Choosing to be a self-indulgent, whiny fuck. That's real. What a sad choice. What a terrible way to go through life. I feel like there's more of those people alive right now than ever. You know? Because those people used to just die. Life got too hard for them and they just died, you know? You don't read about a lot of those people in the past. You don't read a lot of historical journals or diary entries saying stuff like, September 4th, 1812. Margaret is furious with me for not helping with the wheat harvest. I explained that I would love to, but my anxiety is through the roof. And the wheat provides me no satisfaction anyhow due to my gluten sensitivity.